All right, all right. What's up, y'all? Y'all know it's your girl Ash. Y'all know your favorite girl from the 504. Happy- Y'all got to bear with me, baby. These headphones, these little earbuds be doing the most. But anywho, welcome back to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. You already know it's your girl Ash. Y'all know every time I do a show, y'all know I'm always coming with something hot, something a little spicy. But tonight, I'm doing something a little different. I'm bringing awareness. Y'all have to bear with me, y'all. These little earbuds are really killing me. But tonight, I'm bringing something different to the table. Um, that came across maybe almost a month ago, and it's a bit concerning to me that this is not being addressed and talked about even more. We hear about these stories in New York and California about the treatment of inmates when it comes to the jail system, but it's happening right here in Houston, and I wanna know why is this not being talked about? Y'all already know how I get started. Y'all already know I do my mental health check-in because I gotta make sure y'all are doing good. I gotta make sure your mental is good, your emotional, your spiritual, your physical. I need to know how y'all are feeling. So y'all already know how I get down before I even get started. Y'all know I always play a nice little video for y'all. So hold tight. I'm gonna jump into tonight's conversation.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
Y'all know, like I really like truly love Chadwick Boseman. I really truly do. And when every time I watch that video, that just encourages me more and more every day to keep pushing and keep striving for what it is that I'm trying to reach in life. So I say that to say, regardless of where you are in life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Y'all gonna make me get so emotional. Y'all know how it comes. Y'all know how I am when it comes to mental check-in. Y'all got to bear with me. These little earbuds, I hate them. Okay, there we are. Y'all know how I am when it comes to mental health as a person that suffers from mental health, from mental illness. It's very imperative that I check on y'all, that I make sure y'all are good. I make sure that your mental is good. I make sure that your spiritual is good. I make sure that your emotional is good because it's difficult. We don't create these safe spaces for people to be free, and I think it's time because you never know what a person is going through. So that's why I play that particular video every episode because it just encourages me to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I want to take the hard road. I want to know what it feels like to fall down, and I want to know what it feels like to get back up because I know that I've done it. I know that I've accomplished. I know that I've done everything that I'm supposed to do, and I did it the right way. So y'all forgive me. Y'all know how I am. Again, y'all, when it comes to these mental health check-ins, y'all know I get so emotional. So y'all drop in the comment. Oh God. Y'all drop in the comment. Hey little brother, how you doing? It's good, 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 good to see you. Y'all let me get myself together. But y'all know it's imperative that I need to know how you're doing mentally. Drop in the comments, let me know how you're doing. Y'all know that at any moment, if you need to talk, if you need to vent, if you just need me to listen, y'all know if anybody you know my number, you can call me. My inbox is always open. I'm here because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they have to go through this by themselves. Like you're not alone in the struggle. You know, that's part of why I had to come back to Black Girl Interrupted. Like, this is my safe space, y'all. Like, this is my place where I can get on here that I've created for myself to be free, where I'm able to talk with no judgment. I'm able to be transparent because I want people to know that whatever you're going through, I stand in the storm with you. So, y'all, let me get these earbuds together. Uh, there we are. All right. All right. So, y'all just keep letting me know. Drop in a comment. Uh, my baby brother is here. Hey, little brother, I'm so glad to see you. I hope things are going well for you. He says, same here, sis. If you need to talk, I'm here. Absolutely. Y'all know I'm very transparent when it comes to sharing my story and sharing my journey and letting you guys know where I've been and where I'm gonna go and where I'm gonna keep going. And I'm not gonna let anything or anyone stand in the way. So, oh, there's my honey. There's my baby. Hey, Pooh. I love you, babe. There's my honey, y'all. He's working, but he's tuning in, supporting his woman tonight. I appreciate it, babe. So, oh, y'all. So I'm ready to jump into tonight's conversation. Cause baby, when I tell you this is very bothersome to me. So tonight's conversation, because I'm jumping right in. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. We jumping right into it tonight. So tonight's conversation is death at the Harris County Jail here in Houston, Texas. So this came across to me. This story came across to me a little over a month ago, and so I said, let me check this out because I haven't really heard too much about it. Especially on a worldwide level. Now I heard it on a local level, but I said, why is this not being addressed more? Why are we not talking about this? This is imperative that we bring this type of conversation to the forefront. This needs to be on the forefront, other than the drama and rigmarole bull that we see on a day-to-day basis. This is imperative because this could happen to your loved one. So between 2021 and 2023, there have been 32 cases of deaths in the Harris County Jail here in Houston, Texas. Um, Benjamin Crump is over has taken on a couple of the cases of some of the loved ones that have passed away in the Harris County Jail. And the Department of Justice has stepped in for a full investigation. So again, 32 within a 14-month span, 32 inmates have died. 21 being in 2022, and I believe I'm trying to make sure I get the numbers correct because y'all know I like to give y'all correct and accurate information. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 21 deaths in 2022, and then 4 deaths from January of 2023 to the end of February 2023. So we've had 4 deaths within 3 months, 22 in 2022, because I want to make sure my math is right, and then I believe 11 in 2021. So again, y'all, the Department of Justice has been brought in for a full investigation. I'm gonna play a little clip for y'all just to give y'all the backstory on what's going on, and then we're just gonna keep the conversation going. Because like I said, I'm not understanding why this is not worldwide. Why is this not being talked about on a broader spectrum? Why at just a local level? Yes, we hear about these cases that happen in California, New York, in these other county jails, but why not use it? Why are we not making a fuss about this? Like, why are we not bringing this to the forefront? So I'm here to wake it up tonight. Like, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to address it. And what can we do as a community to ensure that this doesn't happen to another person's family? Again, 32 deaths have happened from 2021 to 2023 in the Harris County Jail. So here we go.
And tonight, 13 Investigates is uncovering a disturbing trend.
This year, it's likely more inmates will die inside the jail than ever before, and those deaths won't be from COVID.
Ted Oberg and our 13 Investigates team is trying to figure out what is happening behind jail doors that has families in tears and inmate advocates enraged.
The last time Sarah Borchgrevink talked to her brother Matthew, he was scared, alone and inside the Harris County Jail.
He didn't know what was happening. He was not receiving medical care.
A few days after that, a jail chaplain called Sarah.
And she kept saying repeatedly, Matthew is non-responsive. And she didn't say dead. She didn't say passed away. She just said, quote unquote, we were unable to revive him.
Her brother Matthew Shelton, a longtime diabetic, eligible for a bond he couldn't afford and serving a short sentence, was dead. According to Sarah, Matthew went to the jail with insulin and needles, even providing us this photo of the needles Sarah says Matthew brought to jail. But official records show he died of diabetic ketoacidosis, which the CDC says occurs when diabetics don't get enough insulin. Jail staff now confirm a criminal investigation is underway in this case.
It's terrifying because it makes you wonder what happens to other inmates.
People have always died in carceral facilities. That is true. But the pace of death and the scale of death that we're experiencing in our community this year is unprecedented.
The 21 jail deaths this year, including an inmate outsourced to an out-of-county jail, are more than the jail had all of last year and more than each of the COVID years. In one of the deaths, state records show an inmate banged his head so hard on the wall and floor of his padded cell that he died. And that was after jail staff had stopped an initial suicide attempt by the same inmate. In 9 of this year's deaths, reports filed by the Harris County Sheriff's Office report that the inmate was found unresponsive. There's no detail in those cases on how the inmate got that way or if mandatory once-an-hour checks were being made. The jail says most deaths are due to natural causes and are below the national average. Inmate advocates are skeptical. It begs the question, one of many the Sheriff's Office hasn't directly answered for us, about how much supervision there is of the 10,000 inmates inside your jail.
Many crises that are happening inside Harris County Jail are happening in the places that are supposed to be monitored the most often.
That may be the case for this young woman. She was an inmate at the Harris County Jail earlier this year. She doesn't want you to see her face, and her mother is talking for her. The young woman was pregnant with twins when she was booked for violating probation on another charge.
Jail should be somewhere that they're to be helped, not hurt.
But by the time she was released and that charge dismissed months later, both babies she was carrying had died. Her mother tells us her daughter was handled in a rough way on the way to court inside the jail and hit a wall hard. Hours later, she said doctors at the jail told her she'd miscarried one of the twins, sent back to her cell, bleeding and alone. A month later, the young woman says she was getting medical care for an unrelated issue, and that's when she learned the second baby was also dead.
Now all I have is an ultrasound picture.
A third woman's case we're investigating is even more concerning. In October of last year, a pregnant inmate gave birth alone in her cell. The sheriff's office tells us jail staff was unaware she was in labor, but keep in mind, she should have been checked at least every 60 minutes, possibly more often. Advocates claim she rang a buzzer in her cell for help repeatedly, but none came. After the baby was born, jail sources tell 13 Investigates the new mother had to separate the umbilical cord by herself while alone with the newborn in her cell. The baby is reportedly okay, the mother still in custody.
This is a story that demonstrates that just having another body in the room is no replacement for changing the culture that exists in Harris County Jail.
The sheriff's office hasn't told us if anyone is being held accountable for these deaths and allegations of medical neglect, telling us the information is not readily available despite asking for it a month ago. A spokesperson told us the sheriff's office has taken many steps to ensure the health and safety of those entrusted into our custody, despite the challenges created by the pandemic and backlog of cases pending in our criminal courts, including, he continues, the move to bring in Harris Health to oversee and manage the delivery of health care in the jail on March 1st.
People are going to slip through the cracks because if there's overcrowding, that means there's not going to be enough people for the number of issues that you're going to encounter.
There is no easy way to release inmates stuck in a backlogged court system. Loved ones and inmate advocates aren't certain this is an issue that money can solve either.
If our jail budget or if our law enforcement budget had any correlation to safety, we would have the safest jail in history and the safest county in history because we're spending the most on law enforcement in history.
The sheriff's office did confirm an outside criminal investigation is underway into the circumstances surrounding Matthew Shelton's death here at the Harris County Jail. The jail's regulator, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards, has cited the jail for delays in the booking process this year, but we're unaware of any regulatory investigation into the deaths, nor the pregnancies, nor inmate supervision. At the Harris County Jail, Ted Oberg, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
So I want to keep that conversation going. So uh, Gemini says politics got to be in it. It definitely could, because what I'm not understanding is I get it. You know, they're short staffed. I get it. I understand. But also what I'm not understanding is, why are you not investing into the safety of the inmates? Yes. Have they committed crimes? Absolutely. But they deserve to be treated just like humans. They deserve the same thing. Like, it's unfair mistreatment. You know, we see it out here in the streets. So now it's moved to the jail. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel knowing that and it's more than just that, put those 3 cases. Of course, again, 32 inmates have passed away in the Harris County Jail between 2021 and 2023, with 4 of the most recent being January 2023 to the end of February 2023. So I want to know, what are your thoughts? Put in the comments. Let me know, how do you feel about this? I mean, I can honestly say, I think it's sickening. I think they're putting money or funding in incorrect places. I see here in Houston, you know, again, and I can't speak for other states, other cities. I can speak for Houston, but they're spending money buying police officers brand new vehicles. What's wrong with the old? They still work just fine. I think, let me calm down. Let me relax, because y'all know how I tend to get. I feel like funding needs to be allocated properly, and less on new vehicles, less on computers, chairs, and all that. I think you need to put that into the jail system, you know, because again, the unfair treatment of inmates is absurd to me. Yes, again, and I'm gonna say it again and again and again and again and again. Yes, have they committed crimes and that's why they're in jail? Absolutely. But they're still human beings at the end of the day. So what if this was your love? You know, that could be in for something so minor. You know, we heard the young woman who spoke about her sister, whose brother was in for something minor and ended up passing away because they failed to give him his insulin. So, you know, and I know it's difficult to look at it from both sides of the coin, but I'm going to look at it from that way, because if that was my loved one, yes, you committed a crime. You shouldn't have did what you did. Now you're behind bars, but I still believe you should be treated fair. That's my opinion. Some people may disagree with me. It is what it is, but I'm going to stand 10 toes down on what I just said. You know, I look at that as that's my love, that's behind bars, and I want them to be treated fairly. You know, that goes back to I was watching this show the other day called Death by Fame. It comes on Investigation Discovery. And the story was about Lloyd Avery Jr. Most of y'all know him. He was the guy in Boys in the Hood, the one that shot Ricky. He was put into a cell with a known person that practiced Satanism, and was killed. And it took them 2 days to find this young man's body. So, yeah, I think people need to be treated fairly. I don't understand why that's not happening. So, moving on. Again, we're still talking about deaths. For those that are just tuning in, yes, tonight I am discussing the deaths at the Harris County Jail in Houston, Texas. 32 inmates have passed away between 2021 and 2023. And I want to know why this is not being talked about. Why is this not being addressed? So Gemini says the South is about to get crazy. They have to come together. It's been crazy. You know, when they relax gun laws and all types of other stuff, it's really been out of control. So we just have to pray. So as I stated before, y'all, the FBI, Department of Justice, has now gotten involved. You know, so what led to the FBI investigation? Well, there was an inmate whose last name was his name was Kevin Smith Jr. Him and the uncle passed away in the Harris County Jail, and there was another young man in 2021 when Houston had that hard freeze that passed away as well. Well, his name was Jaquari. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Jaquari Simmons. Passed away due to he was beaten allegedly, and then was left stripped naked in his cell while we experienced this freeze here in Houston. So this is what led to the investigations, and this is what led to Mr. Benjamin Crump. Again, he's the attorney he was the attorney for George Floyd. He was the attorney for Trayvon Martin. He was the attorney for the Ahmaud Arbery case. So he has now stepped in because these families have reached out to him because they want answers. They want to know, how did my loved one pass away? Why are y'all not looking into this? Why is this not being investigated? The jail is not giving us any answers. So guess what? We want to know what the hell happened. How did my loved one die in your custody? Why are you giving me these BS stories as to how my loved one passed away? I want the truth. So again, why is this happening? Why is this not being addressed? Why are we not bringing this to the forefront? That's my question. Again, y'all know I come here to wake certain conversations up, and this was one that really sat on my heart, and I really wanted to address it tonight. So hold tight. Here's the little backstory on what led to the FBI to investigate these 32 deaths, at the Harris County Jail here in Houston, Texas.
Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez confirms the FBI has agreed to investigate the deaths of 2 inmates at the Harris County Jail.
This comes after families and civil rights attorneys demanded a federal probe into the growing number of inmates dying behind bars.
Joining us now, Adam Bennett, live from downtown. Adam, the families also want to speak with the sheriff and see video.
That's right, Mia. They tell us that the little information they have gotten so far about their loved ones' deaths just doesn't add up. Meanwhile, prominent civil rights lawyer Ben Crump says last year at least 28 inmates died in the jail's custody. He says this year so far that number is at least 4 inmates. 1 week after former jailer Eric Morales became the first ever detention officer criminally charged in connection with an in-custody death at the Harris County Jail, the sheriff's office announced the FBI will be reviewing that death of Jaquari Simmons in 2021, along with Jacoby Pillow's death last month. Lawyers say Pillow was being released on a $100 bond for a misdemeanor trespassing charge when he was involved in a fight with jail personnel. Pillow got new charges, was detained overnight, and found dead the next morning.
It's been 7 weeks, and we have not been notified or told anything.
This morning, his family demanded answers, accountability, and change.
Being a former employee in Harris County, working for pretrial, I've literally witnessed correctional staff mistreat detainees because they were in need of insulin for diabetes or other medical issues. And I've literally witnessed them be the reason for altercation taking place between them and detainees, and it's not fair and it's not right.
Prominent civil rights lawyer Ben Crump held the press conference with Pillow's family and several others whose loved ones also died in custody.
How do I explain that she's never, ever coming back to the 7-year-old?
Harris County, y'all need some help. We need some help, man.
Lawyers are working to help the families get evidence.
You don't need to say no more, just release the video.
Attempts, they say, so far have gone nowhere.
Invite the families in and let them see it. Talk to them so that they're not in the dark.
I just literally got chills. Just watching that video, listening to that young woman who is a former employee of the Harris County Jail witness the mistreatment of inmates. And it's sickening to me. Let me compose myself. Let me take a deep breath. Let me adjust my earbuds too. Why are we not giving these families the answer? I would want to know if my loved one passes away under quote unquote unknown circumstances. I want to know why. I want a full investigation. I want to know what happened and why. What caused it? Was it provoked? Because you heard the young woman say she's witnessed these jailers provoking me. So my mother used to work, she was a nurse in the prison, and she would see these guards would rile the inmates up. Why? Why? You know, maybe y'all, maybe that's a question that I'll never get an answer to. But these families deserve answers. Like that attorney said, stop leaving them in the dark. Bring them in. Let them see the footage. Let them see what happened, what caused their loved one's demise. They deserve that. They're owed that. You know, that's like, you know, with Tyre Nichols, you know, the community got out there and they said, hey, we deserve to see this. We pay for this. We pay for that. Those families that are involved whose loved ones have passed away, they deserve it. They deserve answers. They deserve it for peace. You understand what I'm saying? I believe, you know, when you find out the truth about things, it brings a certain level of peace. Although it'll never bring your loved one back, it will bring you a certain level of peace. That way you're able to rest at night. You know, and that's my concern with these families is within 2021 to 2023, 14 months ago. Here we are, month 15. 32 people have passed away in this. 32 people. 32 people that have mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, children, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. 32. And y'all aren't outraged about this? I just, it bothers me. Because again, I know these are criminals. I know they've done crime. I get it. I totally understand. And I know a lot of people are like, well, they did the crime, they need to do the time, but they're still human at the end of the day. They're still human beings, regardless if it's a minor or a major. They're still human. They deserve to still be treated fairly while incarcerated. They deserve to be fed properly. They deserve to be, if they have to have medicine administered, they deserve that. They deserve fair treatment, regardless of what the crime is. You know, I could say that about, I despise pedophiles, I despise rapists, I despise people that hurt children and the elderly, but they're still human. They're still human. That young man who was getting ready, who was $100 bond, $100, y'all, $100 bond ends up there in the Harris County Jail. Ends up there. But you won't answer the family's questions. You won't honor their requests. They want to know what happened. What happened? Then he got into it with a officer in the jail. Was it a provoked or unprovoked altercation? Who started it? That's what the family wants to know. They want to know what happened. He was getting ready to come home. What happened? This is, you know, I just, y'all know, I advocate for things like this, especially when it comes to police brutality. So I'm going to pose a question because we see this in the street, but now we're seeing it in the jail. The question that I'm going to pose, has murder emerged from the streets to the jail? Hello, somebody. Y'all let me know what you think, because not only are you murdering us on the streets, now you're killing us in jail. You're denying us health care. You're provoking, you're antagonizing us to get a reaction, and we're falling for it because we've been taught to defend ourselves. But again, we're more afraid of you than you are of us. So y'all let me know. Drop in the comments. Y'all let me know. Do you feel like murder has emerged from the streets to the jail? Again, y'all, 32 within a 15-month span. It's 15 months now. 32 inmates have died in the Harris County Jail. 32 inmates. 30. These families have questions that are not being answered. They're being ignored. Why? Do you feel like why don't you feel like these families deserve answers? What if this was you on the other side? And it doesn't even have to be in jail. It could be at a job. It could be in a hospital. It could be in a nightclub. We want answers. How did my loved one pass away? You're not giving me any type of peace. You're not answering my question. Y'all, these earbuds are killing me. You're not answering my question. Why? What are you trying to hide? Because for me, if I'm asking you a question and you're trying to withhold information from me, I think you're trying to cover something up. I really believe you're trying to cover something up. I believe you're lying to me about something. You're protecting somebody. That's the way I feel like you're protecting somebody. If I'm asking you in the jail, how did my loved one pass away? What happened? What the hell happened? And my calls go unanswered. My questions go unanswered. Who are you protecting? We know they protect their own. We know this. We absolutely know that they protect their own. But now I have to advocate for my loved one that has passed away because they're not here to speak for themselves. So guess what? I have to put in the work. I have to figure out what the hell happened to my loved one behind bars. So again, this is how the FBI got involved, because these families were not getting their questions answered. So they said, you know what? We're going to go a step further. You don't want to help us? We're going to get someone else that will. Hey, to my good sis. Y'all, that's my sis. Let me tell y'all something about this young woman right here. If you have a TikTok, YouTube, she's also on Patreon. Go follow her. She is under the name Say What She Want. Baby, when I tell you, this woman here, I can't wait for me and her to do our show together. because they about to wake a whole lot of stuff up. Because we about to make some of you ladies mad. We're gonna upset some of you fellas, but it is what it is. It's all about accountability. But y'all go tap in with my good sis. Her name is under Say What You Want. You can find her on TikTok. She is on YouTube, and she is also on Patreon. And I can't remember her website, but go follow her right now. And I mean now. Go follow her right now. Not yesterday, but today. Like, I mean right now. Go follow her right now. I love you too, babe. I love you too, honey. I'm so glad you tuned in tonight. Baby, you better tell her we're going to wake some shit up around here. Because, honey, some of you women need a wake-up call. Some of you fellas need a wake-up call. But let's keep going in the conversation. So tonight, again, for those that are just tuning in with me, we are talking about the death at the Harris County Jail here in Houston. Again, y'all, 32 inmates have died within a 15-month span, and these families are not getting any answers. The FBI has stepped in to get a full investigation and hopefully provide some answers and bring some peace to these families. Oh, I should have put my other headphones on because these keep falling out of my poor little ears. So anyway, so I posed the question, y'all. Do you feel like murder has emerged from the street to the jail? Because again, they're killing us in the street, traffic stops, for bullshit reasons. They're saying, oh, you were speeding, reckless driving, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I was in fear of my life. And then this person ends up dead. So is that where it's going? Is it going now from the street to the jails now? Do they figure, okay, since we can't get them in the street, we can get them behind bars? Because we could easily say, oh, they did something to me, and then boom, there's another charge. Because as you heard, Mr. Pillow again had $100 bond, then ended up getting into an altercation with a police officer in the jail and accumulated more charges. So again, to me, it's like it's one and the same. You're seeing it go from the streets now to the jail. Is it, like I said, is it because since you can't get us in the streets, you could get us when we're incarcerated? Because see, again, just like the officers are protected on the street, they're protected in the jail. So it is what it is, and I said what I said. But anywho, but y'all drop in the comments. Y'all let me know. What do you think? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about 32 inmates? Again, y'all, I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and over and over and over. 32 inmates have died in Harris County Jail within 15 months. 15 months. 4 of which have happened between January 2023 and the end of February 2023. And we're just, 9 days into March? Is there going to be another one? Is there another one that has happened that we just haven't heard about yet? I'm curious to know. I can't wait to see how this investigation pans out. I do know for a fact one officer has been arrested and charged with manslaughter in the murder of another young man, and I want to say his name correctly, Jacory Simmons, who passed away in 2021, February of 2021. We had experienced a hard freeze here in Houston. It was alleged that he tried to attack a police officer, but then also Mr. Simmons was left stripped naked in the cold in his cell. So let me give y'all a little more backstory on this, and then we're going to jump back in and continue talking about this inmate's death.
A Harris County jailer charged in the death of an inmate at the county jail. That inmate died during the February 2021 freeze.
That detention officer now facing manslaughter charges. Janelle Bluda joining us now with the details. Janelle. Yeah, guys, well, it's been nearly 2 years since this happened. Initially, there was an investigation and 11 officers were fired, 6 others suspended, but now 1 is charged. 23-year-old Jakari Simmons was arrested back on February 10, 2021 on a charge of felon in possession of a weapon. 6 days later, investigators say Simmons used his clothes to clog and flood his cell toilet. Detention officers had to clean up the mess, and that led to a fight. The DA's office says Simmons was then left in the cell without clothing, which is a violation of jail policy. And when officers returned later, Simmons reportedly threw his meal tray at an officer and, quote, charged at him. The officer punched Simmons in the face and used force again when removing Simmons from the cell. The sheriff's office says it was in that confrontation that Simmons received multiple blows to his head. He received a medical evaluation and was later returned to his cell, but he was left unmonitored because of a power outage related to the winter storm and the failure of detention officers to check on him as required. The next day, Simmons was found unresponsive and later pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, former detention officer Eric Niles Morales has been charged in his death. The DA's office says the 28-year-old has turned himself in, but prosecutors say it was a chaotic scene with many officers responding, so they wanted to make sure they did a thorough investigation.
With that number of people involved and the memory issues that a lot of the witnesses have because of the chaos of the situation, there had to be multiple grand jury presentations. There was a lot that had to go into just trying to piece together what actually happened that day. When you walk into the jail, we believe you should walk out, and that is important.
The indictment charges that Morales assaulted Simmons by kneeing him in the head, striking his head against a door, and dropping him on his head, resulting in his death. Clark does not expect any other officers to be charged unless new evidence comes forward. Guys?
Janelle, thank you.
Baby, let me, because that sounds all too familiar when unarmed Black men are pulled over. Don't we hear that? We hear that same story, allegedly. And then the police officer becomes the bully. And that person ends up. So this is what happened in Jakari Simmons' case. It was alleged that he flooded the toilet. There's no evidence that shows that. Then the officer comes in. Because the mother, the way she describes the young man, he was like 5'5", 130 pounds, 140 pounds, little bitty tiny thing. And I'm not saying that they don't have any type of power, because I know they do, you know. But you left him. So anyone that resides in Houston that was here for the freeze knows the temperatures outside was like 12 degrees. This baby was left in a cell next cold. So I could just imagine if it's 10, 12 degrees outside, I just imagine what the temperature is inside the jail. So imagine sitting, because for me, when that comes to mind, like you're sitting in a freezer with no clothes. And this is how they left this young man. You checked on his head injury. You took him back to his cell, but you did not come back to check on him. And this young man ended up there. Why? Why? Why did y'all not go? And I understand. There was a power outage because I had no power. I had no water. So I get it. I understand. But he suffered a head injury. Why was he not checked on? Why was he not closely monitored? Is the question that I have, which is exactly the same question that his mother had. Why was he not checked on? Then my second question, why did y'all leave him naked? That, you know what? Let me calm down because I got to keep my blood pressure down. But this is really about to raise my blood pressure because I want to know, why was he naked? That, you know what? Scratch everything else that I just said. Why was he naked? Where was his clothes? Why in the hell would you leave somebody in a jail cell naked? That's, you know, it's sickening to me. It really it really pisses me off. Let me calm down because y'all, I really don't want my blood pressure to get up, but it's about to get, because you left this young man. I don't care if he was a criminal. I don't care. But you left him naked in a jail cell. Again, this was February of 2021 when we all experienced a hard freeze here in Houston. So again, if it was 12 degrees outside, I just imagine what the temperature was inside this jail. Then he's naked. He's suffering a head injury that you guys did not go back to make sure that he was okay. And then this young man ends up dead. I really need somebody to give me, I need somebody to answer that question for me. Why? Why? You have to be the most cruelest human being to treat someone so inhumane. I wouldn't even treat a dog like, you know, let me say this. I wouldn't even treat my enemy that way. I wouldn't do that to a person. Again, I know they're inmates. I know they committed crime, but they're still human at the end of the day. And you beat this boy. We hear about this shit in the street. We just saw Tyree Nichols get beat to death for 5 minutes by 5 police officers. We just witnessed this. So again, is the murders going from the streets to the jail? Because exactly what has happened to Mr. Jaquari Simmons is happening to these unarmed black men out here in the streets. And y'all not mad? Like, I just want to, I really want 1 + 1 to equal 3. I really wanted to be that way. But what are we going to do as a community to stop this? What if this is your lover? What if I'm sitting here on my platform and I'm telling your loved one's story? I remember, I want to say, was that last year? A 19-year-old boy lost his life in the same jail, Harris County Jail. Who suffered from, he was a special need, who had the lowest IQ and was beat to death by another inmate. This baby, y'all, was only 90 pounds and was beat to death by a 200-pound man in the Harris County Jail. And I spoke on that because it was 1,000,099 questions. Why would you put someone that suffers from mental illness, he's like 90 pounds, in the cell with a 200-something pound man? And this baby, he was only 19 years old, y'all, and lost his life in the Harris County Jail. And all they could say is, we were short-staffed. I get it. But that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for these 32 deaths that have happened in a 15-month span in the Harris County Jail. That's not an excuse. I'm to the point, y'all, hold up. Let me get these headphones together. I'm to the point now where I'm sick of the excuses. Let me say this. I'm fed the fuck up. I'm tired of y'all making excuses for why these black men, black boys, black girls, and black women end up dead. Sandra Bland ended up dead in police custody, and they tried to say it was a suicide. So let me really wake this shit up. Not only are you killing us in the streets, but you're killing us in the jail. But y'all not pissed off about this? Y'all get more mad about basketball games and football games and players, but you're not upset about the deaths that are happening right now in your community. You're not upset about that. And I really don't understand, because it upsets me to know that this shit keeps happening and happening and happening, and no one's being held accountable for this. That's what upsets me the most. Is that this constantly is consistently happening. These officers are not being held accountable for the deaths of these people, whether it's in the streets or whether it's in jail. But y'all mad about football games. Y'all mad about basketball games. Y'all mad about this. Y'all mad about that. But what if this is your love? When you feel the same way as these families, we want answers. We want to know what the hell happened. Sandra Bland's family still hasn't got answers. So that's like, we really, let me calm down. We have to start making shit make sense, y'all. We really have to start adding 1 + 1 = 2, and not 1 + 1 = 3. Because I'm absolutely devastated about this. It completely upsets me to know that this continues to happen and no one's being accountable. And then when they do these investigations, a lot of times they say, oh, there was no wrongdoing. I look at Breonna Taylor. You know, the Department of Justice came to the conclusion that rights were violated. The Louisville police violated rights. When is this gonna stop? That's my question. I really don't understand why this keeps happening. Why are we not getting out here making some noise? Why are we not fighting for change? Why are we not fighting for better conditions in these jails? Look at Kalief Browder. That baby was arrested for allegedly stealing a backpack and was placed in solitary confinement. I can't remember the exact number of days, but it drove him crazy. Again, another case of inhumane treatment in our jail facility. And y'all still not mad? Y'all still not frustrated? Y'all still not fed up with these things that continue to happen? And no one's being held accountable? So many of these deaths happen behind bars. So many. And these officers in these jails get away with it. They get to go home and wake up and come to work the next day, while this loved one is grieving the loss of their son, daughter, mother, brother, cousin, uncle, and never get any of their questions answered. It's bothersome. Absolutely bothersome. So I have another clip. This is the head of the sheriff's office. I believe this is him speaking. So hold tight and we're going to keep the conversation rolling.
But first, a story we've been tracking for weeks now, a long list of concerns at the Harris County Jail.
Overcrowding, long jail stays, and in recent months, multiple in-custody deaths. New tonight, the sheriff reveals he reached out to the FBI for oversight.
We want to make sure that we're operating in a procedural just way, that they can review these cases. So we welcome that degree of oversight.
The sheriff spoke with our Taisha Walker one-on-one. She is live at the Harris County Jail downtown. Taisha?
Daniela, the sheriff says there are a number of solutions here, such as handling the criminal court case backlog. He says on average, an inmate sits in jail at the building behind me for 200 days, compared to 60 days in other parts of the county. He also says he is on board with hiring more staff and increasing pay, but those are things that he cannot do without the help of the county. Earlier today, the Harris County Sheriff's Office had a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new Women's Empowerment Center for Incarcerated Women, located down the street from the Harris County Jail. The jail, the talk of the county in recent weeks, and the backdrop for civil rights activists who are calling for change and government oversight following the deaths of 4 inmates last month.
The Harris County Jail is the house of death, whether we like it or not.
We don't just want justice for our family, we want change.
In statements from his office last week, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the jail is understaffed, in need of more funds to hire qualified detention officers, and dealing with a criminal court case backlog causing overcrowded cells. Today, I got to question the sheriff in person.
What resources would you need, your department need, in order to correct that trend?
First and foremost, I want to say that our condolences go out to any family that's been impacted. The vast majority died due to natural causes, and that's something that's very unfortunate. And so we look at each one of those to make sure that our response was appropriate, that they utilize their training that's given to try to de-escalate situations.
Sheriff Gonzalez says in an effort of transparency, he's asked the FBI to oversee the handling of 2 inmates' deaths, including Jacoby Pillows from last month. The sheriff says he's working with the county budget's office to address staffing.
We are working on a staffing plan to see what that right number is. We believe it's more than what we have right now, but we also want to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Our staff many times gets pulled in different directions. They're overworked. They should be paid more. And so we want to make sure we're working with county leaders so that we could all be solutions oriented. And we want the public to have trust in the type of system that we're operating here.
The sheriff says the county could also benefit from a new modern jail rather than the one behind me. He says there are a lot of outdated appliances and things within the building that wasn't suited to last this long. Also, if you would like to take a look at our full interview, it lasted about 9 minutes. You can do so by logging on to this story on clicktohouston.com. Reporting live from downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
So again, you keep saying they died of natural causes. How do you know? Are you going based off of what your officers have written up in their report? How do you know? Or are you just speculating? Oh, that they died of natural causes. Really? Are you a doctor? Are you a coroner? Then they say they want to build another jail. So let me say this as someone that lives in Houston. I don't reside in Harris County though. But Harris County, they spend their money on what they want to spend it on. Could they redo the current jail? Absolutely. If you're saying that there's outdated appliances and things of that nature, why won't you pay and update those instead of using the taxpayers' money to build another jail? Or is that just too much like right? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my way of thinking. But I get it. You're going to be transparent. You want to work with the FBI. You reached out. But those families forced you to reach out. I don't feel like, and this is just my opinion, and y'all could go and go to ABC 13 and pull up the interview and you listen to what he had to say. But to me, I feel like the only reason you reached out to the FBI is to kind of take some of the weight and the brunt off of you. Because see, you oversee these officers that are in the jail. But then too, it also comes down to y'all getting out here and going to these city council meetings and being aware of what's going on in your own backyard. And a lot of them don't. A majority of them don't go out. But you fail to realize we're responsible for the people that sit in these local positions. Your chief of police, your judges, your superintendents, and I say this all the time. We're responsible for the people that sit in those seats. So if you don't get out there and vote for the people, don't complain when things aren't being done. So don't sit and complain about that. I'm gonna laugh about it because I'm telling the absolute truth. You have to get out there and you have to allow your voice to be heard. Stop saying, "Oh, if I go out there, change is not gonna happen." You don't know because you don't go out there. But then you complain about what's going on, not only in the schools, but in the jail systems, with whatever is going on in your county. Y'all are responsible for that. We're responsible for these county officials that get elected. And I'm going to say this again. Don't vote for them because they're black. Don't vote for them because they're white. Vote for them because you feel like they're going to make some type of change. That's why you vote for them. Vote for them because you believe they're going to make some type of change. That they're going to do right by the county. They're going to do right by the citizens, by the people. So this is why they're doing this investigation. Again, y'all, for the people that are just joining, tonight I'm discussing the 32 deaths that have occurred at the Harris County Jail here in Houston, Texas. The FBI has gotten involved. Some families have reached out to civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump to help to get answers because they want to know what happened to my loved one. How did my loved one pass away? Apparently, my calls, my letters are going unanswered. They're not answering my questions, and I need to know. I need the peace. I need to know for my sanity. What happened to my loved one behind bars? How did they walk in but didn't walk out? And that's the question. Again, it's happening in the streets. It's happening in the jail. And no one's being held accountable. And that's the troubling thing to me. When is this going to end? We see this all the time. We know about the unfair treatment of the judicial system. We see it in our jails. We see it in our prisons, whether it's a federal or a state prison. We see this on a regular. Inmates going in, inmates not coming out. Inmates losing their lives. Pay those people for all the hard work that they do. They deserve the pay. When it comes to your budget, stop buying brand new office equipment. Stop buying these police officers brand new vehicles when you just bought brand new vehicles 2-3 years ago. What's wrong with those? The county that I reside in, y'all, like, y'all brought 2022 Suburban. Y'all didn't need those because y'all still had the 2021. I feel like that funding needs to go back into the jail. Feed them better. Give them better living conditions. They deserve that. Yeah, like I say, I know they committed a crime. They behind bars, but they're still human. They're still human. I understand there are inmates that get a little rowdy, that, I get it. I understand. But they're still human. What about the ones that are in there for minor offenses? Speeding tickets, marijuana. What about those? Don't they deserve to be treated fairly? Again, you had Corey Simmons, who had a weapon and was left naked in a jail cell with a head injury and passed away. They didn't even go back and check on him. the other young man who died because they failed to give him his insulin. A minor offense. It doesn't matter, major, minor, in between. They still deserve fair treatment. They still deserve to be treated like human beings. Even though they're monsters, they still deserve to be treated like human beings. You know, I think that's unfair that that young man was stripped naked and left naked in a cold jail cell during the freeze here in Houston. 12 degrees outside. So again, I could just imagine what the temperature was inside that jail. I could only imagine. Let me just kind of give y'all my thoughts. Never gets easy for me when I do stories like this. It never gets easy. But if I don't talk about it, who does? If I don't bring these types of conversations to the light, who will? When I get on this platform, I utilize it for the greater good of people, for the greater and betterment of people. I bring stories like this amongst the other conversations that we've had, y'all, to shed light on this because there are things we don't hear about. Does it get exhausting to talk about it? Absolutely does. But again, if I don't protect the people, who does? If I don't have these types of conversations, who will? See, a lot of y'all out here are afraid to have these types of conversations. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the recourse, the repercussions. These are conversations that need to be had. Because this could very well be your love that I'm utilizing my platform to talk about. This could be your person. And you want me to get their story out in hopes that it'll reach a broader platform. That's why I continue to do what I do. I continue to, excuse me, have these particular types of conversations, especially when it comes to police brutality and when it comes to mental health. I advocate for these situations. I get out there. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Anybody that knows me, you know I get out there and I allow my voice to be heard. Because if I don't look out for my people, who's going to look out for me? So when it comes to me talking about these 32 inmates that have lost their lives in the Harris County Jail, it really saddens that this continues to happen. And it's always an excuse. We're sick of the excuses. We want answers now. We want a full investigation. We don't want to be pushed around. Pay these people. Pay them. Give them the money. Y'all have the budget. I know y'all have it. If you got money to put into buying brand new vehicles for the police officers that they don't need, you could put it back into the community. Put it into the jail system. Put it into building more libraries. Put it into building community centers that are affordable to families. Y'all have the budget. But you choose to spend the money on shit that doesn't even need to be spent on. And that's the upsetting part to me. Is you keep saying, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Then y'all need to fight for us. You need to fight for the rights of the human beings. That's just my opinion. That's what you need to do. You need to get out here. You need to push for us. Change needs to come. These families deserve answers. These families want peace. All they want to know is what happened. That's all they're asking. You act like they're asking for a kidney or something. All they want to know is what happened to my loved one. How did my loved one walk into the jail but didn't walk out? That's what they want to know. They want some type of peace. They need something to calm their heart, not to be healing, and then you come and you snatch the Band-Aid off again. Y'all, I'm gonna get my other headphones because these here do too much, y'all. But those are my thoughts. That's how I'm feeling right now. Is I stand with these families. What happened? How did these people end up there? Who are you trying to protect? What are y'all trying to cover up? Because again, you're leaving these families out here in the dark. That's what I want to know. That's the question. I hope the FBI brings a clear, concise investigation and some closure to these families. I hope they're able to answer some of the unanswered questions that these families have so they can really, truly heal. Will it bring their loved one back? No, it won't. But I hope it brings you some type of peace that will allow you to rest well at night. I pray that that's what happens. I pray for these families. I pray that change will come about. I pray that this will stop. I know that that's so far-fetched for me to ask, but I'm going to keep praying for it. Maybe I'll see some change before my eyes close. Maybe I'll see some change before my children have children. I pray for that. I pray that these officers will start being held accountable for the bullshit that they're out here doing. I pray for that. I pray for that. And I'm going to keep praying for that. I'm going to keep advocating for them. I'm going to keep utilizing my platform to bring these conversations to the forefront. That's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep bringing this to y'all. I'm going to keep talking about it. Just like I'm going to keep talking about mental health. I'm going to keep talking about whatever topics that y'all are afraid to talk about. I'm going to keep bringing that shit to the table. Period. That's what I'm going to keep doing. And those are my final thoughts for tonight. On this topic, this conversation again. Tonight I was discussing the 32 deaths at the Harris County Jail here in Houston. It never, again, y'all, it just never gets easier with these conversations. It never does. It never does. We made it. Y'all, we made it through another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. But baby, guess what? I want to talk about my upcoming episode because your girl is back. I'm back, baby, and I'm ready. I'm coming out the gate swinging. Prepare to be sick of me because I'm back. So y'all already know I'm live every Tuesday, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But next Tuesday, I'm bringing back to the table sexual abuse. So we see R. Kelly got an additional 20 years, in which he'll only do 31. And we've talked about the women that were involved. But I want to double back around to the men that are victims of sexual abuse, and I want to address these female predators. I want to talk about women are predators too. Yeah. I'm coming to shake the table next week. I'm coming to wake up some shit that y'all be afraid to talk about. Because women are predators too. Men are victims of sexual abuse, but they're often the forgotten victims. And I want to wake that up. I want to bring that to the table. So that's next Tuesday. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week. And then next Thursday, I'm going to officially welcome myself back. I want to reintroduce myself to y'all. I want to let y'all know what the hell has been going on with me. Where the hell did I go? Why did I just drop off the face of the earth when it came to Black Girl Interrupted? Next Thursday, I want to talk about that. I want to let y'all know where I'm at, y'all. I want to let y'all know where I'm at mentally. I want to let y'all know where I'm at spiritually, where I'm at emotionally. That's next Thursday. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to be back. I'm excited to see y'all. I'm excited to keep having these beautiful conversations with y'all. I love it. It feels good to be back in my safe space. It feels good to be back amongst my people, my supporters. It feels fantastic to be back in front of you. Feeling good. I'm ready. I'm not fumbling the bag anymore. When I tell y'all I'm in the bag, I'm in the bag, baby. I'm here. And it feels good to be back. And I'm gonna have some better headphones. These little earbuds, they killing my little ears. They just keep falling out. But yeah, next Tuesday, sexual abuse. I'm talking about it. But I'm talking to my fellows. That's what I'm talking about. Because I know with men, I know y'all, but I'm here with y'all. I'm here to love on y'all. I'm here to pour into y'all. But that's what we're talking about. I can't wait. Bring your Kleenex. Tell a friend. Y'all don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Black Girl Interrupted. We're getting deep next week, y'all. We're getting real deep. Beautiful conversation, but we're getting deep. It's time. It's time. And I can't wait. I'm excited to bring y'all this beautiful content. Man, I'm excited. That was heavy. Y'all always and it's heavy, but needed. But don't forget, y'all. Like, share, comment, subscribe to Black Girl Interrupted. I'm on YouTube. Y'all know I stream live on YouTube and on Facebook. And you can also catch the recap on all the available streaming platforms. Don't forget, here is my website. It is www.blackgirlinterruptedpodcast.com. I will be uploading episodes. So if you don't catch them on YouTube, I will be uploading them to the website. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll keep y'all updated on any upcoming events, any upcoming shows, whatever I got going on, baby. I got to come and I got to let y'all know what I'm doing. I have to let y'all know what I'm doing. And don't forget, if you want to be a guest, please send me an email, blackgirlinterrupted1@gmail.com. I do ask that you give me 24 to 72 hours to respond because I'm looking for some guests, for some conversations that I got coming up. I want some people, come on, let's talk about it. Let's have a roundtable discussion. So anybody that wants to be a guest, if you want to share your story, if it's something that you want me to talk about, if it's something that you feel like, Ashley, you know what? I need you to bring this topic to the table. Send me an email, blackgirlinterrupted1@gmail.com. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me on TikTok under the same name, Black Girl Interrupted, baby. That's why I'm at. I'm everywhere. Again, y'all, these earbuds is killing me. But again, prepare to be sick of me, baby. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. And on that note, I want to say I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all tapping in with your girl. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all chose to come hang out with me. And I appreciate all the love that y'all continue to show me, all the support that y'all continue to show me. And guess what? I'm about to roll up out of here, baby, because I got to hop off in another room. I don't know what they're talking about, but they want me to come hop off in another space. But I love y'all. Happy Thursday. I hope each and every last person, whatever has happened today, leave it today and focus on tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a better day. I know it will. I love you guys. See y'all next Tuesday again. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So tap in with your girl. I love you. Love, 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 love you. And I'll see y'all next week.